My oldest daughter had a lot of work and we spent so much money getting her help. Growing up, she was very destructive and we did everything under the sun to help her. I will not share her diagnosis, but it was one they don't diagnose kids until their late teens. After that, she improved and is on the fast track to college at 22. Her younger sister, Sally, 18, is also going to college. Sally had it extremely rough growing up with her sister. They do not have a good relationship, but it's a million times better. I'm in family therapy with her. Sally has a lot of resentment of being in a shadow for her childhood. We both agree with this. She brought up many times we would drain all our money to help her oldest. She said that every time we drained all the money on her sister, she was left with scraps. My wife and I talked about this and agreed she was right. We decided to gift her something she wanted. Sally was shocked but really happy when we offered her something. We're much closer, and as she explained later, our offering shows we were willing to put her first for once. Our relationship has greatly improved. Sally asked for a car, so we got her a car. My oldest has been upset since. She keeps commenting that we never spent so much on her, so Sally must be the favourite. We've already talked to her about it. I got tired of the comments and made a list of how much we've spent over the years on every programme, special event and so on. I also brought up that we're still supporting her even though we could have stopped at 18. This resulted in a huge argument where she called me a huge jerk and said it was unfair Sally gets a car. I'm not counting the medical stuff like therapy, even though that did cost a ton of money. I'm talking about all the events we went on and gave her extra. For example, for a long time we would bond with her separately, and we even took her on a retreat with just her mom. Sally was left at home since people said she needed more one-on-one attention at the beginning. That lack of attention was the issue. It didn't help. All the extra stuff we bought to keep her calm, or everything she's broken in the home due to her fits. Sally couldn't have anything nice for years since she would break everything. Also, since our finances were drained so much, Sally rarely got anything. Birthdays were crap for her. We messed up hard on those with her. Am I the idiot for telling my oldest we spent that much money on her and me pulling out receipts? Not the idiot. Your oldest needs to grow up and realize that she's gotten a lot of advantages that weren't provided to your youngest. It sounds like she's so used to being first that she can't handle her sister being put first for once. Also, at the age of 22, if she wants a car, she can get a job and get one. This, LOL, at 22, I had 2 kids and was living independently. I wasn't in a great spot, but I worked my butt off and managed to get myself a vehicle the summer before my boys started kindergarten. She's pouting because her sister has justified feelings and is being compensated for being a ghost in her own home. In contrast, her sister ran the roost, albeit not necessarily because she wanted to. She needs to realize that her issues, though not her fault, contributed to her sister's childhood being garbage because their parents had to focus on her, and that she's making a choice now that she's better off being a petty jerk. This. OP, you paid attention to the younger kid for once. Wow, such a monster. Seriously, your oldest needs to grow up and learn it's not always about her. You understand where you messed up with the youngest, and the youngest was put on the back burner because of the issues your oldest had. Everyone's the idiot here apart from your youngest. You really messed up with your youngest. I first thought you meant money that was spent on therapy, but retreats for just the oldest and mom? Special stuff? Do you think your younger daughter wouldn't have loved a vacation with her mom as well? Your oldest learned that she just had to act out and be rewarded with everything she wished for. That is still her way to go. Someone else got something she wants? Make drama so she gets spoiled and the same. So I, 25 male, am engaged to my fiancée Erin, also 25 female. Since we started actively planning our wedding, Erin's family, but mostly her parents, have developed an obsession with stating how tragic or sad and unfortunate, etc. it is that I won't have my real family there, and that there'll be no blood relatives of mine present for the wedding or our life together. Erin has told them that my real family consists of my dad's and my siblings, but they wave that off like it's BS. Erin has told them the topic is to be closed, and we've left on a couple of occasions because they brought it up since. But this last time I decided to be open. It was a dinner where Erin's immediate family and some family friends were present. Erin's parents brought it up again, how tragic it is. So I decided to divulge my feelings and my experience with adoption and my parents. Background: I was removed from my biological parents at the age of 5 and placed in foster care. I had a very unstable 2 years before I met my dad and my pa. I was 7 when I moved in with them, 9 when I became eligible for adoption, and that same year I welcomed the first of my 2 siblings. I was so lucky to find my parents and to end up with the family I have. I remember clearly some of the bad with my biological family, and I don't miss that. So I told my future in-laws that I didn't find it tragic at all. People who can make a 5-year-old feel so unloved that they never see a future where someone could care for them. You can be surrounded by those who share your DNA and never experience kindness or love. I told them I could not imagine having any of those people in my life today, and I couldn't imagine thinking DNA means more than love. I told them I was miserable being with those people and wished every day for someone to love me. I said I didn't know love until I was 7 and met my parents, and more specifically my dad, who embodies love and is hands down the most loving, caring, compassionate, and thoughtful person I've ever met. He is a shining example of someone who loves and has a deep capacity to love. I told them my true parents were the dad and pa who took in a kid who was so depressed and scared and dragged down that he didn't eat like an average person, was afraid to sleep, and would often cry when sleep did overtake him. I told them that my real parents were the people who walked me to school every morning, who sat and helped me catch up with school and homework, because I was so far behind that I should have been back in kindergarten. I told them my real family are the parents and siblings who know I do not share their DNA, but love me anyway, and have been there for me through every single step of my life since I was 7, and who made me a forever part of their family through adoption. My future in-laws were silent after that, but they told me I humiliated them and made them uncomfortable in their own home, and I shouldn't have spoken like that. Erin told them they should learn when to quit and apologize to me. Am I the idiot? Definitely not the idiot, and it's good for Erin to fully back you up. You say a dad and a pa, so I assume you have 2 dads. I'm wondering if this is more their issue than blood, to be honest, which is really sad. Regardless, you put them in their place. You did nothing wrong. There will always be people who consider blood more critical, but I always wonder why they're married themselves. That means they love someone, not their blood, and choose to live with them for the rest of their lives. If it really is more about the adoption, then good. Good luck. I hope what you said sinks in. I'm glad Erin fully supports you. I, 25 female, and my husband, 26, recently had our baby. We both live together. I've also been exclusively breastfeeding, which has been challenging, not gonna lie. I've breastfed in public, but I never do it openly. I openly breastfeed in my own home. We haven't had anyone over since we brought our baby home. My husband suggested that his friends come over again on the weekend like he did before. I get along with his friends, and he brought them over every other Saturday or Sunday, so I was fine with this. Last Sunday, his friends came over to play video games. I usually just hang out on the couch while they do their thing or in the bedroom. I was breastfeeding my baby in the bedroom and I got hungry, so I went into the kitchen to get something. You can see into the kitchen from the living room, but I didn't think it would be a big deal since I was literally just feeding our baby. My husband and his friends noticed me, but his friends just looked over and continued what they were doing. My husband looked angry and he came into the kitchen and whispered to me to please don't breastfeed right now, right here. I told him I was hungry. This was our home and I didn't need to cover up. He kept pleading with me to go back upstairs. I told him to shut up. He got angry and told me that doing that around his friends was weird. His friends obviously heard this and they were all awkwardly listening. I was so angry and upset I just went back into the room and just waited for everyone to go home. My husband has been angry since this, and he told me he will probably not bring them back here again if I'm going to do that, and that I made his friends feel uncomfortable. I don't know if what I did was really weird or not, but I didn't have a wrong intention. I'm just breastfeeding. Am I the idiot? Friends. Oh, a normal, natural mother-child feeding time. Look away for her privacy. Husband. Don't breastfeed, woman. LMAO. I'm imagining this is how it went down. You are not the idiot. His friends didn't seem to care until he made a thing about it. No wonder by freaking out about it, hubby pretty much implied his friends are creeps that couldn't resist and look if she was breastfeeding close to them in hopes of catching some titty. I wouldn't feel very comfortable either. Not only do you need to breastfeed your baby, but you also need to eat to keep the engine running. You're eating for 2 now. Tell hubby and his worthless nipples to shove off. My wife, 28, and I, male 29, have 2 kids, a preschooler and a toddler, and have been married for 4 years. My wife works part-time as a receptionist while I'm a full-time plumber. When our toddler was born, he was very sick, and as a result we have some medical debt. We're not currently struggling, but are living just at the point where we're comfortable. My wife hates her job but keeps it because she's good at it, and it pays well enough for an entry-level position. She's wanted to become a nurse for a long time but couldn't attend college, and with the kids, it's fallen on the back line. I'm sympathetic towards this, I really am, and would love to see her follow her dreams and become a nurse, and I've made that very clear. But she wants to do it now, and honestly I don't really see how that's possible. Between the clinical placements, studying, paying for the course, working, our childcare situation and our debts, I cannot see how it would work. My wife says she's spoken with her parents and the kids would usually be able to stay with them and she could get a night fill job. But I don't feel like this is going to be enough. She'll be earning a lot less and I will have to work more hours to make sure we're definitely financially all right. This will mean I spend less time at home, can't contribute as much to household chores, which she'll have to pick up, and balance even more work. I said I couldn't support this choice and that she should wait a few years until the kids are in school and she has more time. She says I'm an idiot, that she has a right to be happy in her life and that I should support her. She says it's unfair that I get to enjoy my work, which I do, and she spends her days hating it. I agree it isn't fair, but I just don't feel like now is the time to go about this, and I can't support her choice to change careers. Am I the idiot? As someone who has been there and done that, I can say there will never be a good time. Now is a great time to pursue nursing. The need is there. I've been lucky enough to have had constant support in everything I've wanted to pursue and vice versa. Please be supportive. She wants to pursue something that will make her happy and your whole family will benefit as well. This is a win-win. But if they can't afford to live on one income, then waiting until you don't need childcare is the smart thing to do. Nobody will be happy if it's constant financial stress and less family time. Not the idiot. It's okay to ask her to delay it for a few years for the sake of your household's well-being. Opie, you're too quick to shut her down though. At least let her check into some programs to see what's available. She could take prerequisite classes now and be ready to start once at least one child is in school. Many of these classes are online. I'm saying you could support her without risking your financial situation. I worked full-time while in nursing school and had several classmates who did too. I had a small child and my husband was on active duty in the military. We did not live even remotely close to family. It's possible, but yes, it's challenging, and a huge payoff in the end. Where she's at, there isn't a growth opportunity, so she will always make the same. It sounds like you aren't willing to make short-term sacrifices so she can do this for her family. I mean, she could always divorce you and do it anyway. OP, you are the idiot. I, 25 male, am the oldest of my dad's many children that he's had throughout the last 25 years. As of right now, I'm the oldest and have been known as the oldest for the last 25 years. My mom was married to him when she found out he was cheating. She kicked him to the curb during her pregnancy with me, and right after I was born it was announced he was expecting baby number 2 with his affair partner, and one of my half-siblings was born a little while before my first birthday. I didn't grow up having a relationship with any of these children because my mom expected more than photo ops from my dad. She expected him to be a parent and help pay for what I needed, but he didn't want that. None of the other mothers of his kids chased him, so I was cut off by him and he floated around, never really working and being in and out of the lives of his other children. I met some of my half-siblings when I was a teenager, and I wasn't really interested in forming a relationship like they were. It was weird because the ones who reached out were not much younger than me, but expected me to take over as sort of a head of the family and the male role model. When I turned 20, a bunch more of them became known to me. 12 new, which made for 15 known at that point. Many of them were kids, so I didn't want to be a jerk and reject them harshly, so I spoke to their mothers and told them I would not be this amazing big brother their kids wanted. A couple of years ago, I was like, you know what, fine. And I joined a group chat with the siblings over the age of 13. I'm not very active, but I figure it would be good to at least know about these people so nothing ever happens there. It was that worrying for me that when I met my fiancée, we actually did talk to her parents and get a DNA test done because I have so many half out in the world that it's scary. Last week, a situation with my half-siblings became a little explosive. They were asking why I hadn't talked about my wedding with them. The half closest in age to me found out through social media, and it became a big deal that they were not going to be invited. Then it turned into, you're the oldest, you should be stepping up and acting as the head of the family and making sure you're there for all half-siblings we have or find in the future. I told them that was not happening and that I was not signing up to be responsible for everyone. They said I act like us having each other isn't a good thing. I told them I would never have chosen this, to have half-siblings coming up that will be over 20 years younger than me, half-siblings maybe even older than me for all we know, and never knowing if the people I meet could be my half-siblings. I told them I was not her sperm donor and I would not take responsibility for this. They called me an idiot and said I should embrace this huge family. Am I the idiot? Oh my God, not the idiot. What a crap show. I'd be clear with them. You are not their father. It is not your responsibility to be the leader of Dad's band of kids. If they had only accepted you as a friend, maybe there would have been room to grow some kind of relationship. They had no genetic right from you to attend your wedding, which indeed would have turned into a sibling reunion upstaging your nuptials, not to mention the huge cost of inviting the entire Von Trapp family times 3. You tried to connect with them, which was very generous of you. Now it's time to block them. They want a dad and need a psychiatrist, and you are neither. This is what it's really about for them. They don't have a father figure, and they want OP to fill that void somehow. It sucks, but it really isn't OP's problem or fault. You can't replace your deadbeat father's responsibility. They all have mothers they can look up to. Go live your life and be as involved or as little as you want. You can't be held down by your father's lack of self-control. How many mothers are involved in this fiasco? I don't understand how the prospect of single motherhood with a philandering absent parent was appealing to so many people. Good Lord, leave the crap show behind, enjoy your wedding, and have a great life.